Meditate, manifest, invest in you. Join me on my spiritual journey as I elevate myself and like-minded listeners to a higher level mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for listening. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I am your host, Chanel. So today is November 18th. It's getting close to Thanksgiving time, and the seasons are changing. This is gonna be an episode that relates to the title, which is Seasons Change, Things Ain't Always the Same, and it's true. We are technically still in fall, and fall is obviously a season where things are changing. The leaves are changing, the weather is changing, people are transitioning into school. Work probably is the same or could have picked up or something depending on what you do for work. So it's a time of a lot of change, right? So, and it's also a time to reflect on things in your life that might need to change, or you might need to change your way of thinking about things in life or the way you do things in life, maybe change up your routine. So it's just a time to really reflect and allow change in your life that's necessary. So what I'm gonna say, so just some things before I get into the actual episode, is that I will be doing this. I'm doing this episode today, but I'm also gonna do an episode Sunday, a holiday episode, I guess you would say. It's gonna be about Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving comes, so look out for that as well. That actually was an idea from one of my listeners, Noli. I love her Instagram name is Noli Cannoli. It's cute. And shout out to her for listening to Black Hippie Lounge and always posting things from when I do episodes. And she also posts other episodes from Black women who are doing podcasts. That's actually how I discovered a recent podcast that I started listening to, called Podcast Bay. That's her Instagram too. I would definitely check her out because she's been doing it for a while, it seems, and she has a lot of great episodes too. A lot of things that she talks about that I was like, okay, I can definitely relate to what she's saying, and that she's from Detroit. So I would definitely check her out too, and I'll try to remember to post on my Instagram for Black Hippie Lounge about her link to check out her episode. But definitely, like, what I was trying to say is that, yeah, definitely I'm gonna, so Noli, she suggested that I do a holiday episode, so I will definitely do that on Sunday. So for today, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about season changing and things changing, and I want to read this quote that I saw and kind of dive into that. So the quote is, "It's okay if you haven't accomplished all of the dreams you should have ideally ticked off by now. Life doesn't happen that way. Your journey has no deadline and you aren't behind. Where you are right now is where you're destined to be. Every step you take, no matter how trivial you see, is yet necessary to reach your destination. It might not be exactly what you want, but the only way to get more of what you want is to nourish what you have. So as long as you live your days to your fullest and enjoy in the process, why should anything else even matter? Stop berating yourself for how long your journey is taking. It's never too late for anything. Give yourself some credit and be thankful you made it this far. You have so much potential and I'm proud of you. Just keep moving." So I actually had this in my phone. Like, I think I took a screenshot of it like a while ago. like months ago, even before COVID, I think. And I was going through my phone trying to see ideas of what I wanted. I knew I wanted to talk about change and like not beating yourself up, but I just needed something to kind of go off of. So anyway, I found this in my phone and I thought it was definitely very appropriate. So um I feel like this definitely spoke to me because I know that I had so many plans in for 2020 that have been shaken up and out of my control. Like I think I talked about it in a couple episodes ago, like how I was trying to scramble to fix things that were coming apart and it just didn't happen because it wasn't supposed to happen. So I think that that's kind of a theme for 2020 for a lot of people. So you just have to remember to not beat yourself up, right? And just try to enjoy the process as best as we can. So anyway, I want to dive into this quote and kind of pick it apart. So the first line of it's okay if you haven't accomplished all of the dreams you should have ideally ticked off by now. So I feel like in our society, especially with our generation, we're kind of conditioned to like you set these goals for yourself and like by this age I'm supposed to have this and by this age I'm supposed to have that, right? And then it's great to set intentions, but your intentions don't always come to fruition because of whatever. Maybe it's not supposed to happen that way, right? Because obviously it would be ideal if we could just like pray to God and be like, hey, you know, just let me know what's the deal. Like what am I supposed to be doing right now, right? You know, it would be so much easier if you could do that. Then you could be like, all right, fine, I can avoid, whether it be in relationships. Okay, is this person for me? No. All right, cool. So show me who is so I can go find them. Like that would be obviously ideal. Or hey, is this the right career path for me? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm sticking with it. Like all those things would be so much easier. But that's not how it goes, and that's what I guess take away the beauty of life because we have free will. So even when things are supposed to go a certain way, you do have the free will that if you make a certain choice, it only deters you from your destination. Though you're still going to hit your destination no matter what. It's just based on the choices that you make. Like life is a series of choices: what you eat, what you think, what you do, how you live. So when you make choices, if they're not aligned with your destiny, then it might take you longer to get to your destination, but you are going to get to your destination. The universe definitely makes sure of that. That's the whole point of the universe. So, but yeah, just knowing that it's okay that if you haven't accomplished everything that you wanted to achieve this year or in your life, that you still have time. As long as you're breathing and you experiencing the same 24 like everybody else, then just do what you need to do and be able to adjust to the things that are going on in your life, right? So yeah, life doesn't always happen that way. Your journey has no deadline and you aren't behind. I think that that's something that people need to know, especially I'm going to say, talking on something that I was talking about with a friend earlier, is like as women, when we get older, we kind of, and some women, not all, we kind of put these deadlines on ourselves like, all right, well, I need to be married by this age, or I need to have a kid by this age, because you do have that idea of like, the, what is it? What do they call it? Timetable, or not timetable, but you know what I'm talking about. Like when women want to have a kid, they always say it's the clock is ticking. I guess that's what they say too. Your biological clock, your biological clock is ticking. So you kind of not scramble, but sometimes you can kind of feel like, all right, I need to start really getting serious about this and this and that so I can get the baby or whatever, and get married and have kids or whatever. But you have to realize that there is no deadline for that, especially people have shown, like people have been having kids later and later, and it is possible. So there's no deadline per se, because I was talking to a friend who she was saying that I was feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm tired of like dealing with these people when I'm dating. Like it's always something with them, or it's always a problem. You can't never just find somebody who's just like serious, or it's always some type of issue, and she was telling me that just because you know what you want and stuff, like, still you have to give things time, because you don't want to rush when it comes to marriage and kids, because at least kids, that's a permanent thing, and you want to make sure, even if it takes longer, that you want to try to ensure as best as you can that you're making the right choice with the right person, and that you have time, because everything takes time, and those are things that you don't want to rush, marriage and kids, right? So she kind of, when she told me that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I definitely don't want to rush something like that and regret making a bad choice or something like that. So it kind of just also set me into the mindset, like, you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be, right? Because like the quote says, where you are right now is where you're destined to be. And there's always a lesson to be learned when in your life you hit like an obstacle, or things don't go as planned, and you could be like, okay, well, what's the deal here, like, why I had all this momentum, why am I all of a sudden stopped, or why are things not going how I want to? And usually that's because you're experiencing something, because the universe needs you to learn a lesson, or maybe you are, like, you're serving as a lesson to someone else in their life. Either way, there's always a purpose for where you are and why you are where you are in life. So try to focus on that instead of just focusing on, like, okay, well, where I need to go next. Like, obviously still make plans and do things for your future, but also reflect on where you are, and figure out why you are where you are in life. So every step you take, no matter how trivial you see it, is yet necessary to reach your destination. That's kind of like what I'm talking about. It's like, when you hit a roadblock, or you're like, all right, I feel like I'm doing the same thing. What is the point in this? Or like, all right, I'm trying to move on to the next thing. Like, why, even when I'm making all these moves to try to move to the next thing, I'm not making any movement. Like, what's going on? And usually that's because it's some type of thing that you're going through that is necessary for you to get to the next step, right? Because sometimes a delay is good, because it's protecting you from something, right? Protecting you from something that could go really bad and can really mess up your trail to your destination. So it's just being able to trust, when you hit a trivial spot, that it's for the greater good. So it says, it might not be exactly what you want, but the only way to get more of what you want is to nourish what you have. So that is like, again, we kind of get into this mindset of like, all right, I need the next thing, we need the next big thing, or, all right, well, I accomplished this or that, let me move on to the next thing. Or, all right, I have all these goals that I'm trying to get, and I'm just trying to get it. Like, so, like, I feel like a lot of times on social media, there's always this get money type of mindset, or be your own business, and do all these things for yourself, and like almost promoting. And hey, don't get me wrong, I respect the hustle and I promote it too. Get yours, because you definitely need to get your hustle on, and make sure that you are setting yourself up nice, financially and any other type of way in your life. But you also just want to make sure that, like, when you accomplish a goal, congratulate yourself for that. I feel like, I know I'm guilty of that. Like, if I accomplish something, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great, but I still got to do all these other things too, and it's like, no, like, sometimes you need to just step back and be like, okay, I accomplished this. It could be something big as I graduated, or I just passed this class this semester, or whatever, like, anything. Just make sure that you are taking the time to nourish what you have, and like appreciate what you have, and be thankful for what you have, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and allowing yourself to embrace what you have and accomplished, and just kind of stay in the moment, and be thankful for where you are and what you do have. And when it's like a plant, right? When you get a plant, you have to water the plant every day and make sure it gets sunlight and nourish it, and or I don't know, like I guess like a puppy or something like that. Like you gotta love on it. You gotta nourish it and give it everything that it needs so that it can grow and grow up to be big and strong, right? And so it's like what you nourish is what will grow. And if you're not paying attention to what you have and nourishing that, it might die out, and you don't if you've already accomplished this thing and you're not nourishing it, or you have whatever, something in your life that you're not nourishing and appreciating it and loving on that, it could potentially die out, and then now you've lost it, and it could have been something that you needed. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, make sure you take the time to step back and look at what you have in your life and nourish on that while still trying to get the next thing. You can still take care of what you have while still trying to get more. That's really what I'm trying to say, is that make sure that you nourish what you have while trying to get more, so that when you get that more, you can make it a part of what you already have and grow even bigger, instead of starting almost all over, because it kind of, you will put yourself in that position because you didn't pay attention to what you have and you didn't nourish it. So the next thing, so as long as you live your days to your fullest and enjoy in the process, why should anything else even matter? I think that 2020, with this whole COVID thing and how many people have gotten sick and how many lives have been lost and jobs have been lost, and just the mental health, and like how it's basically flipped a lot of things upside down, it's important to live your life to the fullest and enjoy every day, because be thankful for every day, and try to remember that it's still okay to have fun and enjoy yourself. I think that some of us can kind of get into that pattern of like, oh, it's COVID-19, we can't do anything, but you can try to just try to adjust and make it work for you. Like I was still, we were, my brother and I, and like really, they like my siblings, basically. Now they like my siblings, my siblings. So like that's, I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't create words right now. My brother's fiance's siblings and my siblings, we get together. We do like dinners and stuff like that. Just hang out, whatever, we cook, throw down in the kitchen, We really do, though. We really have good meals. But anyway, like we do things like that. And before, I think that when this whole COVID stuff started, we weren't doing that because we were just obviously trying to be safe. But then it's like we kind of started to do it slowly, do one by one, try to do them, because like, why should we allow the time to go by and not literally see anybody, like not see family and stuff like that? Like, obviously when it first began, when everyone was in like lockdown, no, we weren't doing anything. But I would say, like, as summer came, we did like a cookout here or there, doing things to just come together, at least, because you need that. Like, you need that human connection, because as some of us live alone, and it's just like you being alone like that all the time, like you need that human connection of some sort, so things like that, I think, help you to realize, to be able to still live life to the fullest and like enjoy the process, and not that even if you have those times, you can do that where you get to just enjoy the company of those that you love, and nothing else at that moment matters. I think that's what I'm trying to say, is like still make sure you can, if you somehow, have those type of moments, even if you have to do Zooms or whatever, just try to have those moments where you get to enjoy your time to the fullest, because you really just don't know, you don't really know what's next. We don't know what's going to happen in 2021 or whatever, how things are going to be changed. And like, we can't, I think that sometimes with the COVID thing, when it first started, everyone was in this idea of like, okay, well, that started in the spring, late spring, winter, whatever. So we were like, all right, well, by summertime, we'll be able to go out and do what we want to do. So we just got to wait till winter. I mean, wait till summer to hang out with people. But then it was like the reality started kicking in, like, oh, wait, hold up. We're not even going to be able to do that in the summertime. So I think people started to really be like, you know what? Forget it. We just gonna do what we're gonna make it do what it gotta do, and wear your mask and not have a large crowd. But you can't just go without having interaction with people and not enjoying your life how you used to. You just have to adjust. I think that's really what some of what the lesson of 2020 is teaching us, is how to adjust and still, enjoy our time. So other thing that it says, stop berating yourself for how long your journey is taking. It's never too late for anything. And that's definitely something that, people need to practice, myself included. Sometimes you get into this mode where you're like, all right, I was supposed to be doing this by this age or this time, and I said I was going to be already accomplished this, and how have I not done it? And now it's like, you start reflecting on your journey, or if you go on social media, it's like everybody's always posting about whatever is going on in their life, and if those are things that you want for your life, then you start reflecting on, like, all right, what am I doing to not get to where I'm trying to get, but it's never too late, and your timing is your timing. That's something that you have to remember. No matter how old you are, your timing is your timing, and there's no man can stop what God has for you, so you just have to keep putting in the work, and don't lose the dream, whatever it may be, because you have to think about, like, all right, if you really want something, like, all right, if you really, in your heart, like, you want to get married one day, just because it's not happening at the age that you think or the time frame that you think, then sometimes it's easy to be like, dang, like, am I not supposed to get married, or I'm never going to get married? But if God put that in your heart and put that on you, then that is what's going to happen. It's just you need to wait for the divine time. And in the meantime, doesn't mean sit there and like look at the clock. It's just like live your life and still keep accomplishing things, because maybe those are the things that you need to do before that marriage comes about, because you wouldn't do it if you were married. You know what I mean? So just keep going, obviously, and try to have as much fun in your life as you can, and have as much experiences as you can, and things that are for you will come to you in divine timing. So give yourself some credit and be thankful you made it this far. That's definitely a 2020 thing, because we are right at the home stretch, right? We're in November. So even though I don't believe that, January 1st, that like there's going to be a revelation and like all the clouds are going to go away and everyone's going to go out running in the streets singing hallelujah. Like, I don't think it's going to be like, you cross the finish line. Like, no, we're going to cross the finish line, but we're still going to keep going. We're still going to face things. It's just, we haven't experienced a year like this, I don't think. So it's like, we have to stop and give ourselves credit for making it this far, and be thankful that we did make it this far, because a lot of people did not make it this far. And that's obviously something every year, that's a given, right? Every year everyone doesn't make it to the next year, and people die every day, people die every year, right? But it's like this year, it was just like a significant amount of people have died, and I think it's more powerful because, like, literally every month something was happening, right? Every month of 2020 something bad was hitting us, and like it was a lesson after lesson after lesson, and it was like the amount of loss, it was just a different form of loss, because it was part of it was something from something that could have been prevented. I think that's the issue, is that a lot of it could have been prevented, and that's what makes it more sad. But anyway, just give yourself credit for making it this far, and make sure you make it to the 2021. Be safe out there, and make sure you're staying safe and taking care of yourself, so that you can keep going and do what you need to do in 2021. So remember, you have so much potential, and I'm proud of you. Just keep moving. I can't stress that enough. Like, You have so much potential. I'm so proud of you. Just keep moving. That last part. Just keep moving. No matter what, please just keep moving. It's easy to get like down on yourself, or the weather's changing and it's like, I keep seeing these memes and it's true. Like it's 3:48 and it's dark outside. It's like, whoa, I literally just got off of work like 10-15 minutes ago. Like, give me a little bit of time to get out there and get some air, like. So it's like daylight savings is kicking our behinds, and like it's dark, and I'm getting confused because I'm like, it's 7 o'clock, but it feels like 11, and I'm just like, the timing, and especially if you're in the house like that, it's hard, but you have to keep moving. Don't stay stagnant and just keep going. It's like, um, right now where we are in 2020, we're like at that home stretch, and like, why would we stop after all? If you look behind you and see everything that is behind you that has happened in 2020, you want to go back to that, or you want to keep going and take the risk to see what's on the other line of 2021? I don't know about you, but I'm trying to see what's over there on 2021. Like, who, I don't know what it's going to be. It could be worse, but it could be better, or at least we can take the lessons that we learned in 2020 and do a better job at dodging the bullets of 2021. So just keep moving. It's easy to get, like I said, to get on yourself and be like, dang, like I haven't even accomplished more than half of the things that I said I was going to do for 2021. But you are in November of 2020. Not many people can say that. If you still got a job, you still got food, you still can breathe. There are people on ventilators right now. There are people crowding up the hospitals right now. There are people who, they can't they can't have a Thanksgiving. There's just so many things that people aren't able to have right now. So just being thankful for that you do have what you have, and like where you are in 2020 is a blessing. And just try to remember to take all the lessons that you have learned from 2020, whether that you learned, your cousin, your baby, whoever they learned too. Like, take all the lessons from everybody, your brother, your sister, your mama, whoever. Like, everybody's lessons, you take them and you hold on to them, and you understand how you can apply it to yourself, because there's so many lessons to be learned this year, and that can be applied to your life in some form of way. So definitely, from a mental health point, if you feel like you need to talk to someone, don't hesitate to reach out to those closest to you, or a professional, or I mean, you could reach out to me, anybody. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and that, don't beat yourself up, because seasons change and things ain't always the same. And that's true. And just because things are not the same, it doesn't mean that it's bad. And it doesn't mean that something good can't come out of it. Things, life is always changing, and you have to be able to go with that change. You have to be able to go with the flow, in the sense. And like, let me tell you a quote that I saw. I heard from Podcast Bay, from one of her episodes. It was called "Let Life Unfold," and she said, "Life is like water. You got to go with the flow," and it really is. Life is like water, and you really should just allow yourself to go with the flow. Allow the universe to push you to wherever it needs you to go, so that you can get to where you need to be. So that's really all I have to say. I will be doing another episode, like I said, on Sunday, a holiday one, and about Thanksgiving and COVID and stuff. And just thank you for listening, and take care of yourselves. And as always, like, meditate, manifest, invest in you. This is Black Hippie Lounge, and I'm your host, Chanel. And stay safe, stay blessed, and don't sweat the small stuff. Seriously, like, don't sweat the small stuff. just let it be, and keep going. Like I said, definitely don't stop. Keep going. Just keep moving. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And like I said, Sunday I'm going to do another episode. So thank you.